welcome to Baal Teshuvah Express
Yes.
with Mottel and his wife, that I don't know her name.
Zehava.
Zehava, yeah, habibi.
How come
Okay.
you never told your wife's name?
I don't ask people. I don't walk in. You know, the Malachim, they walked in and they said, Aye Sarah Ishtecha, where's your wife Sarah? I don't ask people about their wives. I don't do that. That's not part of my
You should have known by now
Should've known
my
by now.
name.
But we can start with the L'chaim.
L'chaim.
L'chaim Mottel, L'chaim Rebbitzin. Thank you, L'chaim.
L'chaim.
Baruch atah Adonai, L'melech Shakanu b'dvarim.
Amen.
What did we just drink? That was good, but what is it? Maze. You make a trot vodka or you make a trot vodka?
Yeah. Well, it's our recipe, but after Sukkot, my husband collects all these rogim from our shul, from his friends, whatever, where does that from, and then he and his and Musi, they peeled it and he fermented with vodka. We get all the best type. We got Tito's and Currant, and fermented for like 3 weeks, and it's the best.
Wow.
This is without sugar. With sugar, it's more like liquor, but this is straight up with lots of vitamin C.
Give us the sugar one. Okay, so what we did till now, we interviewed a lot of Baal Teshuvah. Okay, first a lot of Baal Teshuvah, but this guy doesn't look like a Baal Teshuvah. She doesn't either. They look like they were always from, right?
They came out from. That would look like.
It's Purim night. One guy, I used to put a tefillah on this guy at work. So they say, you know, Russian guy. So they never take me seriously with the beard. So it's like, for you, it's a Purim every day. Meaning I'm not really one of the crew.
So you met him a lot of years ago. He was always like this, right? Tell us the truth. He was always like this, right?
Not really.
He was born with a beard, with a hat, like this. No.
Oh, we're reading about Esav.
Huh?
You would be surprised that he wasn't always like this. I tell you, my first time when I met.
Tell us about it. Let's hear.
First of all, we have a mutual friend, and this mutual friend invited us to the son's bris. So
Speak up, stay here.
Yeah.
Speak up.
So I came to the bris, and Mottel was there, and we happened to sit right next to each other, just me and you. Happened to be.
You sat down with the guy with the beard?
No, he was clean shaved. He was clean shaved. He had like muscles and everything. The guy, we clicked. We sat next to each other. We drank.
Because he was also with the muscles.
Nah.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I always keep it at home. Yeah. So we clicked. We had a good time, and that's it. And I haven't seen him. I think it must have been like 2004, 2005.
Oh my God.
Those are years. So the next time,
It was such a long
the next time,
At your wedding.
no.
Oh, sorry.
No, the next time I was at Rabbi Cohen's show, it was 2012. So how long passed? 7 years.
ago.
7
years.
years
Years
after that. So some man just looks like this guy. He comes to me and
Who was
says,
Gingy then too.
your name is Rudik? My Russian name is Rudik. I said, yes. I know you. I said, you know me? And I'm looking at the guy and I can't recognize the guy. I don't know the guy. And I look at his ears and I say, I think I know this guy also. There's something about his ears. So I
It's
said,
not nice to make fun of somebody's ears on camera. Not nice, not nice.
You're telling me
this is the
I wouldn't be
trademark.
able to pass for a story in Yosef, but they didn't recognize him, but he recognized them. He had a beard, Yosef,
yeah.
but wouldn't fly with me.
Ears, no. Yeah. So definitely wouldn't fly with Mottel. His ears is always there.
The trademark.
So you guys were together when this happened already?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got
So his
the-
ears like this because you punched him? What happened?
No,
Oh.
there was the whole story with the ears. It's he
What's
was a professional wrestler still back in Russia.
I want to make
where
sure they
he's
hear us.
from.
I'm shutting off the music.
Yeah, he was the champion in Belarus.
Huh?
He was champion in He was all-American champion wrestler, pro wrestler in college. He was the first one, right? In some division two,
Division
division one. He was preparing to go to Olympics.
I wasn't prepared though.
Then he broke his back, his knees, whatever. He got injured. But the years that he came from Russia already like that, because from wrestling, that's a trademark of wrestlers. In Russia, it was a big. You
could scare people with that.
schools.
People wouldn't start with you with it. Over
Right.
here, it doesn't fly.
No, the funny,
No, it's serious.
Nobody knows what it is.
Even your wife's not scared.
You're like, okay, doesn't
no,
fly.
the funny thing I'll tell you, because the ears actually got us together when we got. Yeah. So that's how Hashem works. This is really how Hashem works. Now we can really trace it back and see. When we started, not even dating, we met each other online. On the Russian chat, that back in beginning of 1999.
America
And
online.
Russian chat room. When we started talking, 2 weeks we talking, but there was no video, FaceTime at that time. There was nothing. There was just flip phones, and we specifically said no pictures. So he said, "Okay, describe yourself." I described whatever. He said, "But you know what? After 2 weeks talking on the phone, already, feeling close to each other, a lot of similarities, this and that." And he's like, "You know what? Let's go on a date. But I'm gonna tell you something."
Don't start. Don't pull that thing. I said a lot of stupid things.
No,
I don't want it
but
to get
this
out.
is epic. This is what really
No
made me-
epic. I don't want
He
this.
said, "Listen, I'm a pro wrestler. I have a body of David, but my ears, you're not gonna like it. So we're not gonna hook up. But let's go on a date." I said, "You know what? Let me be the judge of your ears." So, at that point, I got really intrigued because like my father also was a wrestler, but he never had ears like that. So I was like, "Okay, let me just see. I want to see what."
She told me actually when I said about the ears, she said, "Please don't ever say it to a girl."
I gave him, yeah. So that really got me interested. So I was actually, eager to go on a date.
We're talking about your dad's ears, okay?
I don't care.
So, and that really got me, it just brought me to another level because, he was, the ears made him feel, very self-conscious. So I wanted to see him more. So that's when we went out finally on a date. He didn't have a job. He didn't have money. He lived with his parents on Brighton Beach.
Lost my job.
And the car, he broke his car. He smashed his car. So, and I saw him with his ears, and I'm like, he
I
looked
waited for her for 45 minutes.
in the
She
cold. It
she
was end of
late for a
January.
date, 45
It
minutes.
was January?
In January.
I still-
Yeah, but 1 second, sorry for interrupting. But it's January, put ear muffins like this, it's
With
cold.
my ears, you don't need one.
So when I saw him and his ears, I said, "Oh, they're cute. I mean, this is something to pinch and to bite on." He was very, very happy. He was very, very happy, and that's from that moment on we connected, and but we were not from at that time.
But your father also, if I remember, you mentioned one time, you just mentioned your father was a wrestler.
He was a wrestler.
But he also liked the fact that he was a wrestler.
Oh, that's another story.
Yeah.
That's
You're gonna start all these stories, we're never gonna get to a real
a little
story.
bit later on, when we already started dating, and I didn't want to reveal my at that time boyfriend, so he came. It was not ready for my parents to be revealed. So I brought him. He came to my house. We ordered sushi, whatever, and my parents were out.
Kosher
so
sushi.
not at
No,
that
not
time. Yeah. So we had sushi, and also my parents came back. They had went to a wedding or something. And my father saw him, and he was, very defensive. He's like, "Who is this Kabel? Who is this? Another guy. Who is this in my house?" And he got scared. He ran away. Then, when he was running away, he looked at him. But I said, "Daddy, but he's a wrestler like you." He's like, "What? Really?" So, okay, he already ran away. After half an hour, he said, "Call him back." So he calls him back, and it's his name is Mottel.
Whatever.
It's Marcella, come back. He gave him already a nickname, Marcella. So he came back, and they started
Marcello, okay.
wrestling with my father, and he said, "That's it. That's a good boy. You should." Oh, my bracelet is not good. "You should really consider because I wasn't sure at the
You
time.
See,
And
the
then-
the ears.
The ears again.
The ears,
they
but you
yeah,
gotta explain
yeah.
why, for people who doesn't understand, when you
You're on
wrestle, why
camera.
do you
We are
have the ears
making
like
it-
this?
we are
What
making
happens?
I don't care.
What
I wanna be
happens
on
is
YouTube.
Okay.
your head
Okay, go
gets
sit down.
caught either when you go for a guy's leg
Yeah.
or the guy grabs your head.
Yeah.
Bring some.
And you have,
oh,
this is made of cartilage, so
Yeah.
it's easily
And
broken.
cups.
Ah,
If
okay.
the ear is soft, so it's just nothing. But if it's hard cartilage, in my case, it's broken.
Yeah.
Then they drain it, whatever, but it's
The
not
whole
the same.
procedure, but in Russia, they at that time in the 70s, nobody
Oh,
did it.
okay.
Nobody did it in the 80s. Yeah.
But the thing is that it's very painful from what I hear.
It's painful, sure.
So just wanted to explain why, if you're wrestling, you have such an ears, So, anyways.
So how did the wrestler, because you're a real dos, you know what dos means? In Israel, they call somebody like you a dos. You know what dos means?
What's his
Like Haredi legamre, you know what I'm saying? Like with the hat, with the this, the capote, the white shirt, the beard, the whole thing, the gartel, everything 100%.
Are you Eli?
Huh?
No.
Are you Eli?
No.
No, I'm a Chabadnik.
You Eli.
So we spoke to a lot about shuvas, right? We have about shuvas in the shul, right? It's a
Yeah.
shul of this, and we have people that look like Reuven, people that look like Daniel, people that look like Alon. Nobody looks like this. Nobody took it like,
Beidana.
huh?
Beidana.
What Beta? What does that mean?
Gamliel.
Gamliel.
Oh, I'm Leo. Yeah.
Gamliel, yeah. Gamliel.
So what happened? What happened? How did it go from there to here? What happened on the way? Give us a story, a couple story.
Oh.
Basically, I was no different than any other Russian Jewish guy that lives in Brooklyn.
Brighton Beach.
Brighton
Thank
Beach, whatever. But back in Russia, my brother was a wrestler, and he got me into wrestling. So I went into it. What was my thing? I was wrestling, and I was having a good time. I came over here, and because they noticed whatever, they took me into a wrestling school, I got into a wrestling school,
Thank you.
Thank you.
and I was the only Russian in the school
Here in the United
in
States.
the United States. So it was a culture shock, and it was something happened to me, and I started changing. I was not anymore part of the crew. Hashem took me out of my comfort zone,
Yeah.
and first I tried to fit into American culture, and and I was in a fraternity house. Which is I was part. But somehow along the way,
You got depressed.
I got depressed. What was happening was wrestling didn't go. Something happened with the wrestling. I couldn't adapt to the style.
Because
I still did okay,
a
whatever.
couple of guys passed away because they were cutting weight.
Without
And they because the match they had to be specific weight, so they cut weight, and two guys died, in his team. So and he almost passed out, and
So you see,
he got
even though
really
we're Baal
screwed
Teshuvah, but
up,
we're
yeah.
a normal Jewish family, I get interrupted when I talk.
No, but this is important that they messed up.
I call it Pirush Rashi on like that.
The details. That's what the details make the whole thing juicy.
Yeah.
Okay, so something happened to me along the way that I started to feel empty. Part of it was I was in American school, and
How old were you?
I was 20 when I went to college. I was a little bit older college guy.
But you started the school. You were like 18 or 17.
I started earlier, but I did 2 years in private school. I did 2 years in Blair Academy. They took me. It's a huge powerhouse wrestling house.
Okay.
It's a huge private school, but they're known for the best wrestling team. So I did 2 years there, and then I went
That's
to
Pennsylvania, right?
that's South Jersey on the border with Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay.
So then in college, I got hurt, and once I got hurt, so the coach told me, listen, you're not gonna. I want to get a surgery, whatever. Basically, try to push me off the team, whatever. So basically, even more depressed. But I was a young guy,
Yeah.
and who wants to think that you're depressed?
Yeah.
I was fighting it. I thought it's just a phase, things come and go. It's whatever. Didn't go away.
Yeah.
Along the way, I met my wife.
That's after college, right?
After college, she came home and with the injury. I finished college, and I met my wife. By the way, the way we met was so we met, and we're hanging out, whatever, and I invited her to watch a video. We wanted to watch a movie together. I
Oh
live with
my
my
God.
parents. I didn't live separate.
Yeah.
She
On
comes.
Brighton Beach.
By Brighton Beach. She comes at 11:30 at night. We put in a video and we're chilling. All of a sudden comes my mother in a nightgown.
That was
My
brutal.
mother is a heavy woman.
Hard
She
artillery.
says, young
Oh my-
lady,
What are you doing here?
just, what are you doing here?
I'm gonna call your father.
I'm calling your father. So what you know what you
How
did?
old? But you guys were in the 20s already.
Yeah.
25, yeah.
Yeah, but we're, my mother is.
But this is
Anyway.
like a very hardcore Russian old school mentality, Yeah.
So you know what she did? She says, I'm sorry, and she ran. I ran after her. I come
I got
downstairs.
scared.
She's embarrassed. And she's to a point where excuse me, she starts vomiting. I said to myself, this is a girl
I just got
she
nauseous,
has
I did.
values. She has values. Because even in our time, some girl could tell my mother off, and you know how it is nowadays, especially. But she didn't. So I said, ooh. So then I started introduced her to my brother and my father, and this my father said, whatever he said.
Grandma.
Anyway, so this is the side story. That's we got married, and once we were married, we had my first child, and I was working at the Morgan Stanley at the time, and this thing doesn't. I fight it. I really, I to a point where I don't feel taste of food. I'm not interested in the color. Everything is
He was
great.
the first one that had COVID. I'm sorry. After you visited China, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so like this, all of a sudden happens 9/11. 9/11 happens, and I'm on the way to work. Long story short,
He worked in the second tower.
on the second dial, but I
But-
switch.
But it was the whole like Hashgacha Pratis,
Pratis
Hashem
was-
already prepared his way
Okay,
to Baal Teshuvah Express.
Zala.
But it's an important part.
I
know-
was gonna tell it.
Okay.
Anyways, so I was working there at work. So month before I switched, the girl was getting married. I switched with her the shifts. I was a lady shift. She wanted me to.
He was in customer service at Morgan Stanley there, so they worked in shifts.
I was on the sales
There
desk.
was sales desk.
I'm sorry. I was on
Okay,
the
so
sales
was
desk.
8:30. There was a 9:15 and 8:30, right?
Yeah.
So he had 8:30 shift, but he worked with there was like a girl in the cubicle next to him. She was getting married, and she asked him to switch the shift, so she wanted to come earlier.
I said that already.
And right, because she needed time to leave early. So he said, "Oh, great,
So you were able to come in later.
Yeah. So at
So I'm on
that
the bus.
day,
So-
he was not there yet. He was on the bus from when we lived in Staten Island in the tunnel. He was in the bus.
Nice.
Anyways, so I used to get like
Baruch
huge
Hashem.
headaches. Besides the depression, huge headaches. Especially Monday, you have to go back to work. You wake up, I think this is
Monday usually everybody gets a headache.
mood swings, all this. And I remember that Tuesday.
Yeah.
I wake up clear head and a sunny day, beautiful.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's so good.
It was
It's a
very
different-
sunny,
it's a
yeah.
different
And it was
way.
Yeah.
a clear sky.
Clear,
right?
very
I
clear,
remember
yeah.
it like a blue sky.
Yeah.
I'm like, no
Yeah.
headache,
Were you
nothing.
already?
No, I was in yeshiva in Beitar Elite in Israel.
Okay.
And I was there. Everyone would ask me questions because I was the American boy, so I probably know what's going on.
No.
But I didn't. I knew just like everybody else. But okay, we're back to your story. So it was a clear sky. You woke up in the morning, you get onto the bus, and you're driving to Manhattan.
Yeah.
I see.
You section.
No, I see the smoke. It's already hit. They
Where
tell
do you
us
see
it's
this? On the
On the
bus?
bus. They tell us it's a small plane. It was a mistake. Long story short, I saw the whole building collapsed.
You saw the building collapse.
I took a train.
Yeah.
Whatever. I saw it collapse. The second one or first one collapsed second. First one.
Yeah.
Baruch Hashem, he wasn't there.
Anyways, I
Because-
call her after this. I call her because we were supposed to go to vacation. I called her. My brother's flipping out. He says, "Well, I called my brother. I'm okay." He calmed down. I call her. I say, "I'm okay." She says, "What? Okay. Does that mean we're not going on vacation?"
Because a week later we had to go to St. Martin or Aruba. I don't know. Like we booked a vacation, and that's it. Because I didn't
Anyways.
realize
You didn't realize how big the story was. You're just like, there's something going on here. It's
And
killing
they're
my
all
vacation.
calling me. I saw
She
this on
didn't
TV.
realize she was getting married. You wanted to realize everything else.
I realized it very nicely after
Yeah.
what I got. So yeah,
Anyways.
myself into.
Anyways, so
The aftershock.
after that, they put us. So there's no building. So they put us midtown in a different building.
Morgan
Whatever.
Stanley.
Thank
sitting-
God there was no Zoom there. The internet wasn't so
No.
because they didn't set them up the same day working at home.
Midtown, yeah.
We sat there watching TV all day. What happens? What's happening?
Yeah.
He was going crazy for like 2-3 weeks. So he was
Not
pacing the
important.
living. It was
It's a building that he worked in.
was oh.
Yeah, it was
Anyways.
And he got a chemical suit.
Anyway,
And he bought me a chemical suit.
What's the
So-
chemical suit?
Oh,
This is good stuff.
I got for a bunch of I thought the world.
You
was
know,
like-
with the
Oh, yeah.
with the противогаз, как это, the mask, it's like they show in those sci-fi movies. The yellow suit, like those, you know, with the suit. It was the whole like a
Let
sci-fi
it go.
thing.
This is good. This makes
Yeah,
it interesting.
yellow. And he said,
Let it go
keep
forever.
it in the back of the trunk of your car. I was like, why? If something is gonna hit, by the time I put this chemical suit, it's gonna be over. So it's Mishugas. I don't want it. Okay, let's keep it in the trunk. Okay,
Did you say
fine.
Mishigas?
Yeah, Mishugas.
Or you said Mishigas in a in Russian?
Mishugas, we use this expression
okay,
all the
okay.
time. Yeah.
Okay, back to you.
The craziness.
Back to
that's
the
what
story.
we-
So I'm working in the midtown. I'm passing by a place on the 48th Street. I see a place, Kabbalah Center. You gotta realize we come from a real Yiddish family back in the Belarus, but my parents speak Yiddish, my grandparents speak Yiddish, my grandfather used to make Yiddish, but it was in a place where you could go to jail for these things and nobody knew nothing.
Go to jail for making kiddush? No.
Yeah.
For making kiddush?
Sure, you could. So my brother, my
I
cousin,
don't understand that.
we used to get together and whatever. Anyway, so yeah,
It was a lot tougher, I'm sorry, in where he lived.
Oh,
We
because
live
you
in
told me
Shul-
you was legal to make kiddush, even to go
No,
to
it
shul.
wasn't legal,
Legal,
but
but it was-
nobody's gonna crack you down.
They tolerated it.
They
In
tolerated it a little
Belarus
more.
and Ukraine,
It was
no.
illegal to make kiddush.
Because people were,
But
you
it
know,
was illegal.
snitching.
It
If
was-
somebody would find out that a group of Jews meeting up.
What's a
and-
group? You make kiddush in your home alone? Was that legal?
let me tell you something.
No.
You know how nowadays,
Oh,
now
no.
I'm sorry that I'm on the camera or whatever. Nowadays, the law is not the law. Whatever is, they might make it. Whatever they make it, but whatever it goes, that's how it was in Russia. They want to put you. We don't want you to practice and be religious and know God. There's no God in it. We'll make a case. There's no written. This,
That you
that,
can't
that.
make kiddush. The law is that you can spread
It's
religion.
not
Yeah.
like that in
But
Russia.
if you
They-
make
they'll
kiddush,
come in, they'll come in
they'll
and
find
they
you something.
make it. That's it. Anyways, so I walk by this place on 48th Street. I see some
Kabbalah
Kabbalah
Center.
Jewish books. you
Little
see
did I
Jewish
know, I
books,
walked
yeah.
in, I saw something intrigued me because at that time I was going through depression. It says incarnations of souls, and it like grabbed me because
Somebody understands me. That's what he was thinking.
I remember I thought, wow, incarnation. So I started, and it like, wow, we have these incarnations in Judaism, this and this. From this, I started to come to this Kabbalah Center.
You start.
We started Kabbalah. Yeah, I dragged my wife into it, and we were there for like a year. We were
2
there,
years.
Or 2 years.
We met all the celebrities.
We were there for Rosh Hashanah. We were there
With
with
Madonna,
Madonna and Guy
Monica
Ritchie and
Lewinsky.
the kippah and the
Guy Ritchie, at
Vlad
that time, her
Lewinsky.
husband, he came with a talus. When I saw that, I'm like, he's like 6'5".
And Demi Moore.
I'm like, look at this. This is like such a chutzpah. Like, wow, I was like running away.
whatever.
And Monica Lewinsky,
Anyway,
and
at the
there was a lot of,
end,
yeah.
I started to pick up, and I saw that something's not right with this. I started to go on the internet. I started to look, and I said, "Time to leave."
No, but you didn't tell the best part, that you got your Brit Milah there.
Okay.
Not
True,
there, but
true.
yeah.
Okay.
Very
We're gonna skip
important.
some parts about that.
Yes.
We're not gonna go into all the details.
No, but this is very interesting because no, tell the.
So basically, in the
One
Kabbalah
of the
Center,
teachers.
one of the teachers there, or whatever, they said that that you have to be you're Jewish, you have to get a bris and this.
He was already like 30 years old.
So
yeah.
they were in touch with a rabbi in Chabad.
From Crown Heights.
Crown
What's his
Heights.
name?
Uh,
Oh, we're not saying.
I don't want to.
Okay.
But very famous Moyle. Very
Very
famous,
famous Moyle.
yeah.
I came there, I said, okay, I have to get a bris. It's, I came there. I said, I'm not gonna. Okay. We had a conversation of what needs to be done, what needs not to be done, whatever. We went downstairs, and he's talking to me. Gave me a shot. He's talking to me about what do you do, this and this. Then he says, "You're done." I said, "Oh, really?" So I looked down. Oh! And I said, "I gotta go to work." And I get up. I put my pants there. He's running after me with a becher like this. He's like this. Says, "Wait! What is your name? I have to give you your Jewish name."
The important part, put your pants back on time.
I went to work, and whatever. My cousin told me my name should be Mordechai because they named me after my grandmother. My cousin's been religious since 13, and Rashi started, and he went through Italy, became fluent at a very young age, and he lives in Crown Heights. My cousin.
This is the doctor.
Grisha.
Yes.
Doctor,
Grisha
doctor
Friedman.
cousin.
Dr.
Yeah.
Cousin,
Okay.
he's been fluent for all these years, and he lives. He has a beautiful family. That's how we started. Then what happened to me also in the Kabbalah Center actually, when I used to come, they used to put a tefillin on me, and that started to cure me. And
Actually,
I said, oh, the tefillin. I started to feel normal feelings, like I started to feel happiness, interest in life.
Yeah.
I started to feel the taste of food and the colors.
Cured COVID.
So I said, "Whoa! Let me get more of this tefillin." And like this, after we left, so I already, 6 months, I became fully from. Like I told my wife,
Express, I told you. Baal Teshuvah Express.
Because the way it is that Hashem gave it to me is like,
Yeah.
I give you life, Habibi, as you like to say.
After the bris,
Take it.
something happened after the bris. He already being already fully Jewish. After the bris, he realized something is missing.
I
in this
didn't
Kabbalah
realize.
Center.
I saw it.
No, you saw it.
I saw
So
it with
he
as
said,
they say.
we have to
Love
find
this conversation.
a true, like a rabbi or shul. And at that time, we lived in Staten Island. And where I worked with a lady, whatever. So she knew exactly the rabbi of that shul in Staten Island, and people, the teachers who teach Baal Teshuvahs, newcomers. And he got attached to a teacher. They lived 2 blocks from us, and they started inviting us for Shabbat. And we went to classes, and right away, for my husband completely switched. We kashered our home. He started keeping Shabbat. He started learning Hebrew because he wanted to daven, not in English, he wanted to daven in Hebrew. So everything was expressed. He learned Hebrew with, what's the name of that software?
Doesn't matter.
The language software I ordered for him, like I remember it. 2 months. In 2 months, he
Not
was
Hebrew.
already...
I learned how to read it, like whatever.
No, but he was able to daven in 2 months fully in Hebrew. Everything.
Wow.
In 2 months.
Wow.
So yeah,
Okay.
it was for him.
I'm not such a genius, whatever. But you know
No,
what?
2
As they say,
Class.
Yeah.
Rosetta Stone,
I wanna ask you a question
Rosetta
as
Stone, yeah.
Is he a genius?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In his own
she'll
way.
call me like an idiot savant, more like. Right?
On the spectrum. That's for sure. Because he really wanted, he was really into it. And when he wants something, that's really was the main.
I guess Hashem knows to push the
Yeah,
button. He
yeah.
pushed the button like that he said, let me tell you, I have since we're talking, and this is Baal Teshuvah Express, maybe it'll help other people. It was so bad with me. I don't know what the depression. Sometimes, remember, I was even sitting with my wife to dine, and we had to the Al Greco dine. Sitting this in Al Greco dine, I see a weird feeling that I see myself from above looking at myself.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird, what is this? So now later I learned maybe on the Shama is a little bit disconnected. It's flying around.
Yeah.
It's not fully in your body.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll help people that understand that they shouldn't. Listen, I see a lot of people that are depressed. My friends, and I say, what's the thing? So we're doctors. We should learn it. This is not a disease of a brain. This is not a disease of body, this is disease of a soul. And the disease of a soul, you can't change it when they cure it with a Zoloft or pills. You can't do it. That's you have to. That's Hashem made it. You gotta come to only one source.
So you know the list of questions that we prepared that we always ask? We're not gonna do it.
Not gonna do it.
We're gonna skip everything.
Yes.
It has nothing to do.
I also want to add something because
Yeah,
when we
please.
already started our spiritual journey,
Right.
again for me it was much longer than him. But like I was trying to, even though we kashered our home, we kept Shabbat. For me it was a separate story with the Shabbat. For me it was harder, and but we continued to have like a normal lifestyle. We used to go out on Motzei Shabbos. We used to go to the movies, to like Broadway shows, go on vacations, go to like have a nightlife, just have fun because we were in our 20s, 30s. But then
But you ate already kosher.
we were I was like, for me it was because I'm not like it was easy to do separate the milk and the meat. But the problem for me was the seafood because I'm not a big meat eater. I'm in seafood and fish. So when my son was born, my older son was born, Josh, right? So it's good for for the story, for the Baal Teshuvah. We went out. I was already, I felt better. Like 2 months after, we went out for. We were not fully kosher yet, so we went out for instead nice dinner. Dressed up. We went to a seafood place.
Okay.
It was some like lobster place on the beach. It's a nice Italian restaurant, and we ate the lobster and drank wine. And I was very happy. Finally, we can come out. The next day I wake up, and I'm fully covered in hives, itching, dying. I'm like, what the heck is happening to me? Hives.
You should never know from
the
this.
rest,
It's terrible.
it's like a severe allergic reaction, and I never had it before. Like I know, yes, no, not like that, but it's like it's
Like
a
redness,
like bumps. I was like, and I'm like, what the heck? What? So I went to the doctor.
And you didn't have it before.
No, I was a little bit, but not to that point because this is when I had my first child and after the brace, things change. You get more Kodesh, and we were trying to be, slowly but surely. And I realized it's like I have to stop eating seafood because eventually Hashem made it that my body can't tolerate it. So right away I had to cut down lobsters and shrimp and all the not kosher stuff. So it was basically mostly fish. But one of the hardest thing was for me we used to love sushi, not kosher sushi, whatever. But for him it was easy. So no more non-kosher sushi at that time, like 20 something years ago, was not so many kosher sushi places. So what I would do, I would go to a not kosher sushi place, right? Order, because not at home, I could not bring it home. I would eat it in the car, and I'm like, I would order kosher, I would order salmon, I would order tuna, like regular, but just the point that I go not to a kosher, like to prove what, I don't know. And then something clicked. Why am I doing this? Like, why am I doing this? I'm not eating non-kosher fish anyway. I have to sit in my car and eat it. I cannot bring it home and share with my house. Like, what? Why? And something clicked. That's it. I'm ready. I'm gonna get sushi from now on, only from a kosher sushi place.
You filter fish.
Not so much, and I think the Sushi Tokyo they were already open at that time, but there was already places. Yeah, so that was how we started with the cultures. Yeah, what I wanted to so we were trying to keep our lifestyle the same but with the more kedusha. But I told him, we had, we worked, we had money, we had the house, everything was fine at that time. Before 2008. So before the crash. I said, you know what, like we went out, for example, we would go out Motzei Shabbos, like we went out, we go to a restaurant, club, whatever. We could go easily to any dinner, spend $300-400, just any restaurant. Next day, you feel empty. Like something is like, you feel so, like, I'm not a depressed person, like he's depressed. No. He was never, before I met him, I was never depressed. Yeah. So, yeah. I felt like something's in Mottel, you're right, because for me he had more than me, the problems more than me, because that was easy, Hashem pushed him. For me, it was a little bit harder, and I felt, like you say, the soul, you had to cure your soul. I had to pull my soul out of this klipot, out of this physicality, and because it was pulling me down, because everything seemed nice on the surface, right? You have a home, you have a child, or you have 2 kids, you have money, you have work, everything's fine, but you're not happy. Something is pulling you, you're not happy. You feel empty. I remember clearly this feeling of emptiness. No matter what you bought, where you went, how many vacations, how much money you spent, you'll feel empty after that. Yeah, you enjoy for a couple of days, a week maximum, but then you feel empty. So, and then that's when we started, going to that shul and everything, and also to classes and learn.
But we should say, for Rabbi Cohen and Tzipi, what happened was...
I was about to ask.
That's a
question.
different stage already.
You are in Staten Island. How did you guys ended up here with Rabbi Cohen, which is in Brooklyn?
Long story short,
Yeah.
Her parents got sick, and we started to send kids into Jewish schools, and all the schools are in Brooklyn. So we sold our house, and we moved to be closer to her parents, to the pulpit. We switched shuls, and at this time she got sick of doing things in Yiddishkeit, in Judaism, because she did it a lot for me. She did it for me. She lit candles for me. She went to mikvah for me. At that point, this one, but I betrayed her a little bit, because
He was,
I buried myself in books, and she had no life. She said there was Shabbos, I wasn't there, I was going over.
Oh, you want me to tell that story,
No.
Shabbos story? How you?
I want
Oh
the story.
yeah, that should go public. That should go.
What's the...
So because when in Staten Island, the second, because it's good that he realizes how he neglected me and the kids. He was so much into that, in the learning and by himself, which I always tell people who are starting to become religious, people asking me, I said, guys, if you're married, and it's not like somebody wants more, somebody wants less. Are you in or are you out? You have to do it together. Yeah. Brown rice. It's brown nose. Maybe chocolate is brown rice. And flaxseed and quinoa. So, maybe Adama. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Very healthy, guys. Extremely healthy.
So, you have to be together. You can't just pull the blanket on your side. Oh, I'm more and you're less, or you're not as more than me, just get out. You have to be together because you are a family, especially when you have kids, and this is important. So, for me, it was hard, going to the mikvah, and it's not just going to the mikvah, but it was a little bit later. The mikvah was later, came in later, not right away. And just
by the way,
separation.
she went to a mikvah. She felt unbelievable.
Yeah, I felt, that was
and she said to me, don't touch me
that was very uplifting.
because I felt very holy.
I felt like I'm on the city cloud 9. So I felt that because we always used to be always together, sleeping together, eating always together. And when he became, learning more and being separate, and the mikvah, you're not supposed to touch each other, not supposed this, he completely withdrew himself. He was downstairs, the first floor in the Shabbos, Shabbos room, learning after work this. And I was with the kids, with the babysitter. We were and I felt more separation and more because he was into his cocoon and I was in the real life, putting everything together. And one Shabbos, we lived in that house at that time. We lived 5 miles away from the shul. So he would go 6, 7 o'clock in the morning to the shul and come back.
Say the whole time.
Yeah.
5 miles. That's you would
one way.
One way,
yeah,
5 miles.
Yeah. So.
And you would walk to. That's a big walk.
Yeah, and that Shabbos he took Josh with him. So at that time Josh was 6 years old. Yeah. So. Okay, so he took Josh. He said, okay, so come back by 3, 4 o'clock. We have Kiddush. Okay, so 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. He's not home. The child is not, nobody's home. I started getting nervous. And at that time, I was not fully keeping Shabbos. And somebody would call, I would pick up the phone. So 5:30, somebody, I hear the phone call. And I was nervous, so probably maybe my house, something happened. I felt something. I get a phone call. I go pick up the phone, and some guy, some non-Jewish guy says, your name is such and such. I say, yeah. Who are you? Well, don't get panicked, but I think I have your husband here. I'm like, okay, is he breathing? Is he alive?
Is he in the trunk of your car?
I said, how is my husband? What condition? And there's a pause. There's always a pause. I was like, I almost, fainted at the. He's like, well, he's alive, but I think he had quite too much to drink. I'm like, okay. And then I'm thinking, oh my God, where's my child? I'm asking, is there a little boy with him? He's like, oh yeah, the boy's running around and laughing at his asshole because he's dead on the floor in a pile of vomit. I'm like, oh my God, what happened? Some Irish guy, whatever. Your husband probably had too much to drink. He collapsed in my driveway. He threw up, and I saw him and the child, your son. He gave me the phone number. Josh already knew the phone number, so we called you because this is I don't know what to do with him. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is I don't know what to do. So I grabbed my car. I was like halfway from the shul. It was because there's it's like a hill. It was right before the hill. And I'm like, oh my God. So I drove there, I grabbed my son, and he's like barely, the guy, who's a huge Irish guy, he pulled him up, he's like, barely walking. He's like, get into the car, I'm gonna drive you. No, it's Shabbos, I'll walk. I said, that's it. Don't come home, just stay out with your Shabbos. So, yeah, he made it home, and
You walked home.
he walked.
Wow,
Another like 2 miles, yeah. So I said, listen, this is. So what happened? He went to the shul, and then there was like a Russian guy, Chabad guy, and he liked to drink vodka with him, and he couldn't drink. He's not a drinker, so he drank too much, and he collapsed with the child. And the police was there. Like there was so many police. There was a very rich area over there. And I said, if somebody would see you collapse on the floor, and the little boy next to you, they would take the boy away. I was petrified. But Baruch Hashem, that was a good lesson.
So, I wanted to say something. Why these stories are very important.
Yeah.
Okay, why is it important? Because it's real life,
Yeah.
and we want people to feel and connect to real stories, right? So if we try to run through and not talk about these funny things, where you know what I'm saying?
This is
So
what
it's-
me. Yeah.
This is true stuff.
True,
This
yeah.
is true stuff. It's true challenge. The challenge of starting to go to shul, and the wife is home, and she's used to having fun. Shabbos and Sunday Shabbos is a day of waiting for your husband at home.
Yeah.
So I think it's a true
very
thing.
important.
It's a true thing.
Absolutely,
Mhm.
absolutely.
No, add something.
I just wanted to say for this continuing quickly, we came to Brooklyn, and that's.
So that was one of the things that I really.
Guys,
I was on the edge. I was so at last. We had this Armenian babysitter who was like very
try to break up the
against.
marriage.
She was like a
Very
witch.
evil.
She's like, get yourself a nice Armenian guy, rich guy. You need this. You don't need this. She was doing
Babysitter.
She's the babysitter.
You know what I
That's
told
a lot
She
her?
of
was doing some black magic.
I
She was
used
doing
to-
something. Oh
We
my
had
God.
Pesach, and you have to check the rooms and this. I didn't know the law that you could sell to the goy the
Yeah.
room.
Oh my God. Yeah. that was.
I didn't know that. I was learning. So I told her, I said to the Armenian babysitter, I said to her, don't bring any hummus. She brought. Of course she brought.
She hid it in her bag.
12 o'clock, Erev Pesach, 1 o'clock at night, I come out, she's sleeping in her room. I come in with a candle.
And
I see the two eyes beyond the blanket like this. This crazy Jew is gonna do something, he's gonna check me over here. I went through the bag, I pulled the chometz. Without a
the
word,
whole
I took
loaf
it
of
away.
bread she had, like,
Not a word said to her, and between that was the. Anyways,
so that was we were very like
So,
yeah.
so we came,
to Brooklyn.
We moved to Brooklyn, and I met Rabbi Cohen. Of course, I went on Shabbos. I went with my child to the park, and he was there. I came to the shul, to Rabbi Cohen's shul.
No, it was also you Hashgacha Pratis.
I
you,
said that.
You went with the kids to shoot to Rabbi Simpson because he knew Rabbi Simpson, and he was taking the road.
You told me that
On
it was
his
a special
12,
way you met Rabbi Cohen.
Because
I met
Rabbi
Rabbi
Cohen
Cohen
we used to
usually
go to the
in the
mikvah.
park.
No.
Oh.
Rabbi Cohen used
Yes,
to go
it was
to
a
the mikvah on Brighton 6, and he usually took Coney Island. But that day when Mottel went with kids to show, he took East 12, not Coney Island. It was right there, Avenue between Z and like.
I know the park.
Yeah. So
By
they
the
were-
bridge.
By the bridge. So Rabbi Cohen took the shot, and that's how he saw Mottel walking with my two boys. And Rabbi Cohen was like, "Oh, Shalom Aleichem, who are you? This and this. You should come to our
I
shul."
came to shul.
Yeah.
Right away, connected with the davening, how the rabbi davens,
David's nice.
and that was beautifully. I said, "This is my place." And right away, when I started, and they said, "Well, what about your wife?" And they started asking. I said, "My wife," and she told me,
difficult.
"I'm divorcing you." We were at that point, and I was trying to save my marriage. So I said to my wife, "Is this so Tzipi?" Right away, she said, "You know what? Me and my husband will go by your house. We'll meet your wife." I said, "It's not a good idea." So then they
You
said,
live here then?
No, we said a little bit different.
Okay.
So then they said, "Oh, let's invite her." They tried to invite her. They called Baderman's wife. Baderman's wife, she listens. So she started.
At that
to-
time, we were, we were the first people who we were, religious friends.
Yeah.
So she
they
started inviting her, and then
to class.
so she would go to class and say, "This."
I would not
Then
go to class. I would.
There
not.
was kuz and shmuz. That's
Yeah.
a nice thing about Chabad. Bring it into a real world. What connects people? They used to have a cruise
From Shipstead Bay.
from ships
It was the best
which
thing.
was
It
the
was the
sometime
best.
in August.
In
It was
August,
right
because
after
on
Tisha
Tu-
B'Av.
was
On
it-
on
Right
yeah,
after Tisha
right
B'Av.
after
The
Tu-
day
it
They
was
had it
beautiful.
till before COVID.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
And
it
I
was,
said
it
to
was
Zala,
beautiful.
please,
Yeah.
I didn't call Zala then, I said, please, let's go. No, it's a bunch of people in the capotas and this, I don't want to even look at them.
I said, all these religious
said-
people, they're making
I
me
said-
uncomfortable. I don't
I
want to
said,
go.
please, I beg her. She said, okay, she'll go. We get there and she she saw all the capotas and she's like, I'm leaving this place. And then she saw Badermans and they waved and she said, oh, somebody I know. So she went. And after that, she became
Who
a
was
fruit-
Baderman's?
Gamliel.
Oh, their family name is Baderman? I didn't know. Gamliel. Say Gamliel.
Or as they Shlomo calls him Bagelman. Anyways, so that's it. Then she became more food than from the.
And then I met people like already on the boat. We went. I'm like, oh, like, and you also religious? Like, I mean, so many people from like back from Brooklyn College when I used to go. Like, people who are not from. Like, couple of people, girls, later already married. Like, oh, you also from? And you from? I'm like, oh my God, this is not so bad. I'm like, I was like, yeah.
Now, if you want to know who the Bagelmans are, how do you pronounce the name?
Baderman.
Badermans are. Watch Baal Teshuvah Express next week.
Oh.
Thank
Thank you very much.
Go ahead.